Now you are ready for the second part of your book trailer, which is creating the iMovie portion. You can launch iMovie on the dock over here on the side. Just click it, and what you will see is basically the last iMovie that has been worked on your computer. So if you have already started a project, all you have to do is go to Project Library, click on that, and it will give you the list of all the different projects that are being worked on. If you see your project, then you just go ahead and double click and it will pull that one up. However, if you are creating a brand new project, which is the first thing all of you will do, you will go up to File, New Project. At that point, you're going to type in what the name of your project is. I'm going to type in Darkest Corner. And I'm going to put number 4, since I have a couple of these. You leave that the same. The theme is going to be none. Go down here and click Create. If something is here, yours probably will say no, nothing, or it may be clicked, it might not be clicked. This is so that you have automatic transitions between all of your pictures. If that's something that you want, you can leave it. Otherwise, you can do individual transitions later, which I will show you. Click Create. This will create a brand new blank project for you. Once you have a new project started, you are ready to put your pictures in. Get your pictures from Google Images. Make sure that they fit with what you are saying in your script. For example, when I had the Darkest Corner, I talked about the book. I talked about the friendship between the two girls. I talked about one of the girls' father being in the military. So those are pictures that I got. Go ahead and put them right on the desktop. You will notice that they all say .jpeg. If you get one that comes across like this and does not show you the image, what you have picked up instead of dragging from Google Images and putting it onto the desktop, you have actually put down the URL address. That is a website, not a picture, and you cannot put that into iMovie. So we're only going to put in the images that I have. I want to start with the image of the book, so I'm going to drag that in and drop it right here. It's very easy because it gives you these little frames to start with. Then let's say the next picture I want to have is these two hands, and let's say the next one is going to be about the father, the military, and just continue that way until you have them all placed in. Once you have all your pictures in, you're now ready to add any titles or anything else that you might want to have words with. I know some of you are talking about using words just like in some of the demo book trailers that you saw. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down here where it says T. Right there, that is T for title. So you're going to go ahead and click on that. It's going to show you all the different possibilities for titles. Now, what you have to understand is that the way iMovie is set up, it's set up so that when you use a title, it's not like you're going to be doing a whole bunch of words. So this is where I want you to be careful that you aren't going to have a whole lot of text written down. You want to be careful that you don't select the credits, because it will scroll like a credit and it's not going to write words like you want them to be written. I would suggest that you maybe pick a centered one, maybe one that's lower down, or just a plain text one here. All right. You could click the drifting one. Let's say this is the one that you want. You go ahead and you select the title. You drag it up to where you want it. So if you want it at the very beginning, you would drop it right there. At that point, you can select a background color for it. Oftentimes, I think black works just beautifully. You could put, I'm going to put Darkest Corner, just because that's what I'm going to put. And we can go ahead and do a preview of it. It's going to show that. That's the preview. Once you have added in all the titles that you want to put in, all the words you want to put in, it is now time to see how long your podcast recording is, because we have to make sure that the pictures take up the same amount of time that your podcast recording does for your iMovie. If it does not, the problem with iMovie is it will cut off your podcast when it runs out of pictures. And you have to keep redropping it in if that's the issue. So how do you find out the time of your podcast? You go down here to music. You're going to click on this little musical note, and you're going to make sure that it is listed as showing iTunes music. I can see my recording right here, darkest corner, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This tells me that this now, all these pictures need to add up to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So how do we do that? How do we change and make this 36 seconds equal 2 minutes and 30 seconds? Very easy. Each one of these little segments right here tells you how many seconds this clip or this picture is up. Each one of these is up for 4 seconds right now. I can very easily change that. All I have to do is on each picture, this little guy comes up. All I have to do is click on that down arrow. Once that comes up, it will say Clip Adjustments. I can go ahead and click on Clip Adjustments, and I can alter the time for each one of my clips. I'm going to make this one 30 seconds, and then I click on Done. At that point, I have now just extended this clip to be 30 seconds, and I've made my total now 1 minute, 2 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change each one of these clips to make it longer. Once you have adjusted the length of your pictures and your text boxes, you can go ahead and now, as you see right here, it says 3 minutes and 18 seconds. That's plenty of time to have my podcast go and drop in there. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and move this bar back up to the beginning of the project, and I'm going to take my audio recording and I'm going to drag it to the front of this, and I'm going to drop it right down here. Now, some of you may drop it and it will show green through the whole time. If I select it and hit delete, it will go away. If I drag it again and put it right here, it shows it just as a bar down below. Either way works fine as long as you're not dealing with more than one audio track, which you should not be at this point. We can slide this way a little so you make sure it's right at the very beginning. At that point, you can start altering, like let's say you only want this clip now to be 10 seconds long. You can change that now. Just keep in mind that if you ever drop, see right here, if you ever drop a picture below this, if your grand total here goes below 2 minutes and 30 seconds for my piece, then that means you are going to run out of your voice and you'll have to drop this back in again. Virtually the last thing that you will do once you have made sure that your pictures and your sound are complete, that they match in terms of the time, the total running time, and your pictures match nicely to what is being said. The last thing you can work with is something that's called the Ken Burns effect. If you notice as I scroll here, you look over here at this corner, it's showing that the faces are moving. If you look at this picture, it's gliding a little bit. You see it more on the shorter pictures. See how it's moving in? The Ken Burns effect is something that when you click on the little down arrow, you have clip adjustments, which you've been using. Video adjustments, you don't need to worry about that. We're not using video. The cropping Ken Burns rotation. You can click on that, and it gives you the ability to basically draw your person's eye to different parts of your picture. So if you want to start with the picture right here, focusing on this man, and it's hard to see here, but the word says colored right there, and you want it to end perhaps with it showing the white only sign over here, we can make this a little bit larger. For the preview, you go ahead and click this button right here, and it'll show you at the speed that it would appear in your project, and you'll obviously be able to hear your audio along with it. So that's kind of a really nice and powerful way to draw attention to different parts of your movie. The other issue you can work with at this point, oh, and if you don't want the Ken Burns effect, you can just click on the fit button, and that way it will not crop it, it will not try and make that movement, it will just show you a steady picture for that whole amount of time. The last part that you can work on would be transitions. Transitions are down here, and if you want to just pick one and have the same one in all of them, that's absolutely fine. If you want to have each one be a little bit different, keep in mind that can be sometimes distracting from what you're saying, but if that's what you want to do, then by all means go ahead. So let's say that I like the ripple effect and I want to put it right here. So I can go ahead and drag this and drop it right there. And you never want to drop something until you see the little plus sign there. Now, because I asked for them all to be automatically put in, I would have to turn off the automatic transitions to have that ripple effect happen. But you see right here, the ripple effect is on there. At this point, once you have done that, your iMovie should be complete. Final and last part of this project, I will probably walk you all through with this because unfortunately this screen does not show up well. But what you will do is you will go to Share and you will select Export using QuickTime. You're going to click on it and you're going to make sure that you have this titled exactly how you want it, that you are saving it to the desktop, and you are going to click Save. This process can take up to 10 to 15 minutes. So it is something we do not want to wait till the end of the period to do. It is something we have to make sure it gets done early. So at that point, you will have created an iMovie, you will have created your book trailer, and I look forward to viewing them all.